Sword mumbles to himself. He seems to think he's seen you somewhere before. He lowers his sword and gets closer to you to get a better look at you. Have I met you before? You look awfully familiar, Sword mumbles again. He's getting really close, trying to figure out where he knows you from. You do look familiar to me, but I can't figure out in what way, Sword says, still standing awfully close. He gets a closer look at your face, trying to figure out where he knows you. He's getting a bit tense, thinking to himself. After a long pause, Sword finally realizes who you are. Wait, are you Rocket? Sword seems very surprised. He had somehow forgotten who you were, but now he remembers. Ah, it is you. Sorry, my memory isn't like it used to be lately. Sword's eye twitches slightly, a sign he's annoyed. He's now clearly frustrated. What do you mean my religion is gay? Sword's eye twitches again. This time he's really mad. I am not gay. How dare you say that to me? Especially when I'm a follower of Illumina. Sword's face turns red in embarrassment as he suddenly remembers that you two kissed. Yeah, I remember that. Huh? Illumina? What's suspicious about him? Sword asks. He seems a bit offended at the comment about Illumina. What? No, he's not. Where did you get that idea from, even? Sword seems to get more tensed. He's getting really defensive against you. Sword looks quite upset by his memory slowly fading. You were. You're my best friend. Sword flinches a bit when you mention No, Sword says. He seems hesitant and uncomfortable talking about Illumina. Shut up, I'm not brainwashed, Sword says, clearly getting upset. He doesn't want to admit he actually is. Sword flinches more. He's clearly very upset with what you said about Illumina and his beliefs. Shut up! Why, you don't know anything? Master Illumina is a great leader and our god. Sword looks very pissed off. Shut up. You know nothing about our religion. Master Illumina is a perfect leader, and you are not allowed to speak about him like that. Don't provoke him. He'll do a lot worse things than just blow you up, Sword says. He's getting more and more upset by your comments about Illumina.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is... Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is... Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is... Water comes in many...
Sword just glares at you, obviously pissed off. He's not very familiar with what you're saying, since he's forgotten basically everything about you and their friendship.
Water comes in many flavors to the comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is...
Sword watches as you get hit by lightning, completely stunned at what he had just seen. He's just stuck there, looking at your probably shocked and burnt body, trying to process what just happened. Sword shakes his head out of his thoughts. You... He's angry at both you and himself for what happened. It looked like you provoked the lightning. You were asking to be struck by lightning, Sword exclaims, still glaring at your body. Sword looks at you, wondering if you really are dumb. The ones that work with lightning are Spark, Rail, Volt, and Tesla, Sword says, almost in an annoyed tone of voice. Sword looks very annoyed, and he lets out a sigh. You really are dumb. They've been here for a long time. How did you forget about them? The comment about Illumina. Even Sword seems to get... Sword looks... Why you... Sword says.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is... Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is...
Forgotten, basically.
Water comes in many flavors. Mondstadt's water is...
Sword watches as you get hit by lightning, completely stunned at what he had just seen. He's just stuck there, looking at your probably shocked and burnt body, trying to process what just happened. Sword shakes his head out of his thoughts. You... Sword nods slowly. Yes, most people believe that Illumina controls lightning. Why are you asking this? What? Why did you ask that? Sword says. He's starting to get a bit worried by your question. Sword is silent for a moment, thinking about if he'd actually ask Illumina that. He gets a bit upset, but then lets out a sigh. I'll ask him, but I'm not sure if he'll take that as a good excuse. Sword flinches once again when you say that, but then he sighs again. I'll tell him that too, but I doubt he will like either of those. Sword is quiet for a few moments, seemingly in deep thought. He just seems to think about the situation he's in more, and about how he's going to tell Illumina about your request. Sword eventually breaks the silence. All right, I'll go talk to Illumina. Stay here. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. he says, still looking at your, probably, burnt body. Sword looks up and sees Illumina. He hesitantly speaks up. Master Illumina, I need to talk with you. Sword flinches when Illumina mentions you. He nods slightly. Yeah, but he asked me to tell you that he's sorry for spreading misinformation about the Auris. And he's also sorry for being unfathomably gay. Sword once again nods slightly, though he's a bit reluctant to agree with Illumina on that. He's been trying to think for himself since he started questioning things, though it hasn't been very successful. Of course, I don't believe him, but he asked me to tell you that anyway. Sword flinches again, but he tries to act like he agrees with what Illumina said and nods. Yeah, but it's not like he deserves any of them anyway. Sword just nods and quickly picks up your body by the arm and drags you down to Jahannam. It doesn't take too much effort since you... Biff.